Good morning. How you doing? I hope you're having an amazing day. I know it's early. Hope you're having some of your coffee. I know I'm having some of my bulletproof grass-fed butter, Himalayan sea salt, and a little bit of oil coffee. So good. So good. Hey, I was thinking about something, and that is, have you ever done something in your life that you regretted? I know it's kind of deep for 8 o'clock in the morning, but have you ever done something in your life that you regretted doing? Or have you ever done something, or you haven't done something that you regretted? And when I was 11 years old, I think I was around 11, maybe 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. And my brothers and I were playing out in the dirt like we did at our little shack in Idaho that had no running water, no electricity. We got our food out of a dumpster. And we just kind of tried to hide from our stepdad so he didn't beat us. Because if you were around him and something went wrong, you were the punching bag. But we were playing out in the front yard, and our front yard was just dirt with a bunch of dead animals, because that's what he did, is he picked up dead animals from other ranchers, brought them to our house, put them in front of our shack to feed our chickens, because we raised fighting roosters. So we were out there playing with the dead animals on a trailer, and we were making little jumps with our bicycles and stuff. And maybe I'm 10, 11, 12. I don't remember exactly what year it was. But my little brother, Josh, who's 6 years younger than me, 6 years younger, he decides that our jumps aren't big enough. So he builds a jump on top of the trailer. Now, the trailer's probably, 3 foot tall. It's not very tall, but maybe 3 feet off the ground. And so he makes the jump, so we go up on the trailer, so we climb our bikes up there. And then we were going to jump off of the trailer or go down this little ramp. So I'm 6 years older than he is. We get our bikes up on the trailer, and he just right off the end of the trailer onto the ramp. I didn't do it. My other brother, Jeremy, who's 10 months younger than me, he right off the trailer. I didn't do it. I was petrified. I was scared. And they did it over and over again. And, they did what little boys do. They made fun of me and stuff. But that stuck with me my whole life, that I was too scared to ride a bicycle off a little ledge, almost like a ramp onto the ground, 3 feet. And part of the reason I think I was scared was I knew that if I screwed up, that if I turned a little bit too much, or I went too fast or too slow, and I fell, and I got hurt, that Paul, if I got hurt and Paul found out about it, Paul would literally beat the shit out of me. And he'd probably beat the crap out of my little brother for coming up with the idea. And I was afraid, not necessarily of falling off the trailer, but I was afraid of what would happen if I did fall off the trailer. I don't know if you've ever had any fears like that, a childhood fear can hold you back your whole life. And I finally figured it out that, sometimes we just do things that we regret, but in life now, I don't really regret them as much anymore. And what I mean by that is I don't dwell on the mistakes. I try to learn from my mistakes. I'm trying to get something out of my pocket because this is what made me think about it this morning. But I try to learn from my mistakes. I'm trying not to have any regrets. Right? Buying a timeshare might be a regret, but you probably learned something from buying that timeshare not to buy a timeshare ever again. So use your mistakes, use your regrets to make sure you don't make those mistakes again in the future. But I thought about this morning because I put this suit on. This is my gray suit that I had made for me in Bangkok. And the shirt, actually, too. You can see it's got a custom, well, I can't really see it. I'll stand up here so you can see it. It's got the custom red interior. It's got my company name there. Over on this side, it's got my name in here. The reason I do that, this is my uniform. You know, uniform is something with a company name and your name on it, right? That's a uniform. Now, why would I want to call my suits, my custom shirts, uniforms? Tax code, baby. Tax code. You can write off uniforms. You can't write off clothes unless it's a clothes required by a job. Like if you're a fireman or a police officer, you can write off a portion of that. You used to be. Now they're kind of jacking that around. But it's a uniform. So when I put on my uniform today that I haven't wore for a long time, about 2 months. You remember when I said I went and hung out with Tony Hsieh? Tony Hsieh is the founder of Zappos. So I went to Tony's compound, and they were having a bonfire and karaoke and pizza. It was a crazy scene. If you ever watched Circle, I think they maybe copied some of Tony Hsieh's life. He lives in a little trailer, one of his houses anyway. But so I'm there hanging out with Tony Hsieh, and I had taken this because I met Peter Anthony earlier that day, which it's odd that I'm getting ready to tell this story with Peter Anthony and Tony Hsieh, and I got a text message from Peter Anthony this morning saying he wanted to have lunch tomorrow. It's not odd. Everybody in the world's connected through energy. Just like a wave in the ocean is not a single wave. It's connected to the entire ocean throughout the whole world. It's connected. And I've been learning a little bit about quantum physics and kind of how our DNA works and how energy works. It's fascinating. Fascinating stuff. But the last time I wore this suit, I am getting somewhere. The last time I wore this suit that I had custom made for me in Thailand was when I had drinks and dinner with Tony Hsieh and Peter Anthony. And I don't know why. I don't remember what the reason was, but I took this out of my safe. Can you see that? It's got an Indian head on one side and a buffalo on the other side. You see that? That's 1 ounce of 0.999 gold. And I don't carry these because this is roughly $1,300 in value to $1,400. And I don't remember the reason that I had it with me that day, but for some reason, I took it with me. I think it was because I knew there was going to be a bunch of people there with Bitcoin that had a bunch of Bitcoin and they had them hanging around their neck. And I think that's why I took it. But, so I took this coin, and after having dinner with Tony Hsieh and hanging out, a guy that I had met, financial planner that I had met, I wanted to go to Fremont Street. And Tony's place is right on Fremont Street. So we walked over to Fremont Street because he'd never been there. And if you've never been on Fremont Street in Vegas, I highly recommend it. But leave your kids at home. Not a kid-friendly place. So I take him down to Fremont Street. We hung out for an hour or two. There's always at least 3 live bands. There's sometimes as much as 100 street performers. It's an amazing free show. And then we got home. The next day, I couldn't find my coin. And this was back in December. Now I remember when it was because I was giving away silver in December, remember? And I think that's why I had it out. And then we were going to show the kids with all of the Bitcoin. So I thought I lost it. I literally thought I lost this coin. And you probably seen my video or watched it where I talked about losing the $1,380, depends on what the price of gold, but between $1,300 and $1,400 for that little tiny coin, about the size of $1, right? I lost it. Now, $1,400 is a lot of money. It's a lot of money for a lot of people. And I learned from when I was 10 or 11 years old with that regret that I held most of my life into my adulthood, that I regretted not riding down that ramp as a kid. My little brother did it. Both of my little brothers did it. Why didn't I do it? So I regretted that most of my life. And I made a commitment that I would no longer regret stuff anymore. I would learn from my mistakes, and I wouldn't let my mistakes hold me back. Fortunately, some of the mistakes that I've made could end me up in jail. Fortunately for that, I never got caught, right? And if you guys know me from high school, you know what I'm talking about. Because I left home when I was 15 years old. I went from extremely abused and suppressed to crazy kid. But fortunately, I didn't end up in jail. I didn't end up in prison. And I'm very thankful for that. And now the statute of limitations has expired on pretty much all of that stuff. All right. But I've learned from my regrets and my mistakes not to hold on to them. Not to dwell on them. Push them behind you. You know, there's a saying in the car, the reason you have a big windshield and a small rear view mirror or something like that is because you want to look forward, don't look backwards. I'm that kind of person. I don't really look backwards. I have this, it's not an ability, that's not the right word, but I tend to delete things from my mind. And I think it's because of when I was a kid with the abuse and stuff, I created this ability to just delete entire memories and days and weeks and months, and it's just gone from my memory. I know it's stored up in this computer somewhere, but I cannot remember it. And I've done that pretty much my whole life, and there's times when I'll meet someone, they're like, remember this? And I'm like, I don't remember any of that, man. I don't remember any of that. Not because I was drunk or high or anything like that, because I deleted it from my mind. I don't want to remember me doing stupid things and me doing criminal things like breaking into Chester's and John Day and stealing 10 kegs of beer or 10 cases of beer. I don't want to remember doing those kind of things. Right? So the point to my video today is don't let your regrets and your mistakes hold you back. Use them. I lost this coin in December, roughly $1,400 in value. I was upset for a little bit, but I wasn't going to let it slow me down. I wasn't going to let it ruin my day, ruin my week, ruin my month, ruin my year, ruin my life. And there's a lot of you out there that let mistakes and regrets ruin your day, your week, your month, and your life. I know adults that one little thing happened to them when they were a kid. Someone said something to them when they were a kid. Someone hit them. Someone abused them. And they've literally held that their entire life as an anchor. Don't be that person. Learn from the mistakes. Learn from your regrets. Move past them. Move to the future. Forget about the past. Use the past so you don't make that mistake again. You know, pain is knowledge rushing in to teach you not to do that again. Pain is knowledge rushing in to teach you not to do that again. You know, the whole put your hand on a hot stove, you won't do that again, right? Unfortunately, some of us as adults do things that we regret and we keep doing them. Stop doing that. Don't let it hold you back. Move forward, right? Because you don't want to lose one of these, right? You know what I'm going to do with this? I'm going to go put it over there in my safe where it should have been 2 months ago instead of me being, I don't know what I was. I think I just wanted to show the kids that had their millions of dollars in their neck on a little USB cord with their Bitcoin. I wonder how much money they have now with their Bitcoin that they bought at 20,000. Now it's at 9,000. I don't know. That is a regret, right? That's a mistake that might take you a little bit of time to recover from. But don't let it hold you back. All right? Don't let it hold you back. Do your best today. Help somebody else out that you can. Encourage someone. Be nice to someone. And just make it the absolute best day you possibly can. See you later.